back in February when COVID broke, I was still struggling to finance another movie called Tin, which is a sort of companion piece of Twin Town. And I'd got my mobile film school financed through the Welsh Government. We were more or less fully funded and ready to hit the road. COVID broke and we lost all our funding overnight, so that rendered me kind of skint. And I just decided to sort of go off grid and spend the summer just, you know, maybe converting my caravan into a place to live and maybe start the film school here.
And it's all about encouraging people to use their iPhones and to make films, you know. So you have to bear that in mind, that you thought, okay, this is a brilliant way to kind of launch that, you know, and raise funds for the film school.
And then I got a bit bored in like May and decided to write a movie.
I got a text going, "Hello, what are you doing in August?" To which I replied, "Quite a lot, but I'm probably doing what you're doing."
It just became something that grew, just by osmosis, but organically. We created this amazing little bubble and then realised that we could actually make a movie, like a proper movie.
So we've had, as a necessity in the current COVID climate, a film set location bubble. The constitution of the crew is a sort of a hybrid of a handful of us film technicians, film creatives, and then a whole swathe of people who are coming from festival world.
I'm Aaron Taylor, I'm the third AD. Basically we've been, over the last couple of days, organising the set, finalising all the different production elements, safety elements. So we're setting up COVID sanitation stations and bits and pieces like that, and make sure everything's in the right place, ready to go for Monday.
The mix has been brilliant because there's people with years of experience working on TV dramas and films, but then there's festival creative types who come on board with loads of enthusiasm, brilliant wacky ideas and artistry in their own field, you know, designers, and they seem to be able to move from department to department very fluidly, and, you know, art department to costume and makeup, and I think they're used to doing these big events.
Because all the festivals are cancelled, the word got out. You know, we all know everyone's got a connection somewhere to do with that world, just on the phone. And I mean, I can't begin to describe how brilliant these people have been. I mean, genuinely. You know, they're festival people. You know what it's like. You just work your bollocks off till 6 in the morning, get twatted, and then start again the next day. That energy is absolutely vital to this kind of thing, you know.
As you can see, it's quite clearly it's not the red fish because they didn't have any red fish. So we're trying our best to spray paint it. And this is the fish's proper close-up, so yeah.
That's in there.
Oi, oi.
What the fuck is that? Exactly the same can be said of the supporting artists. I mean, I cannot, again, praise these people enough. They've come from up the valleys, you know, they've driven their own little camper vans here, they've come down, and these people are over 60 years of age.
I think it's been really unique, actually, and really relaxed and supportive, and kind of brought us through the tough times, whereas maybe in a stricter film production, it might have not had the sense of camaraderie. I think festivals were used to the mud, and we're used to a kind of lack of resources and just working with what's around you. And we've had a laugh. It's been an incredible family, and I think we've learnt a lot. Some people maybe having more experience in other fields. Like, we've had a lot of kind of nurturing and mentorship happen, which for me has been amazing to especially learn from like a film perspective how things are done.
This is my first film set, and I think obviously the lockdown, the pandemic has meant that it's opened it up, and I think it's the only way the film's managed to get made is the fact that a lot of people aren't doing their normal jobs, which has been great, but I'm used to the festival style well.
I think they're used to doing these big events that they put their all into, and then it's kind of gone overnight. So they're very good at that sort of fast turnaround and creating something out of nothing, and yeah, that's been great. And each department has someone with a certain level of experience mentoring, if you like, younger, less experienced film professionals, but then they have their own other skills they bring from the festival world.
And I've never seen people work like it so fast and intuitively, you know, it was just brilliant. But then, of course, you know, they had to learn the discipline of, you know, we have to do this every day, week after week. So these guys were, I think, taken aback by the level of organisation that films require.
So, starting off on Griff. Yep.
So from now on, just pay attention to what's going on, and for all your standby checks, listen up all the time, especially when we're changing setup. So standby props are, you know, getting up and running now, but hair, makeup, wardrobe really need to be on it in terms of checks.
In spite of crazy weather and crazy weather forecasts, here we are, one day off completing a month. We've lost maybe 4-5 hours to rain and weather across 21 days shooting, which is, you know, very, very lucky.
I mean, I've never known weather like it. It's just 2 storms we've had, weather, proper storms with names. Tents in trees, marquee gone. Every kind of like proper, this has been like Cambodia here at times. But we've just danced around locations, found weather cover, rewritten, just dealt with it. No one's moaned, just got on with it.
It's starting to get a little bit rainy again. Oh, fucking hell.
Very good.
Do you want to pick up hairline?
I wasn't aware that August was so wet here. All the locals say, oh yeah, it's always like this in August. Been living in this static that we're on the porch of, which has also acted as a production office. Geraldine, the other producer's been living here, and various overnight last minute guests as well, mainly Keith.
Look, 4 weeks I've been here for, and I've experienced every single weather condition apart from snow that you could imagine. Accommodations, I've slept on the couch in the production room because my other sole pad is now wrecked, ruined. A tree fell on it during one of the many storms. Yeah, I've slept all over the place.
To see the crew grow from being pretty ropey. We had a couple of mentors in, like mates who came down to mentor the art department, you know, especially because they had the toughest job. I mean, really and truly, they had a outrageously tough job. But to see them grow as a unit and to see that rhythm, you know, and people find their jobs, and it's just amazing. It's really sort of joyful to observe it as a director and just see people growing into these. We've trained half a dozen people from scratch into key roles on a film set from scratch.
Similar size to that, so I think you'd only get a small tent in there.
All right, or a little caravan.
Or a little caravan.
I became involved last September from doing Kevin's film school, which is the 5-day film school. Then after that, I just got an email, you know, after the whole COVID craziness, saying like, we're going to do this. These are the, you know, this is the deal. There's going to be, you know, we're going to be all here living, and would you like to be part of it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Even though I've got some experience, it was still in training, but taking on such a big role, and he was, you know, like, are you up for doing that? And I was like, well, you might as well take a risk, isn't it? I never really knew the difference between an art director and a production designer, or even doing standby props and art department, because when you're just doing your own film and you're working independently, you're pretty much, which I've kind of done in this, but definitely learning how defining roles works and how that actually helps the machine move forward.
What are you doing, Roo?
In the...
Just staying some money.
Put some Viagra in the oven. It's going to come out all nice and toasty.
Warm Viagra.
We're going to have a real stand-up night.
Just trying out the fake Viagra.
Homemade Viagra?
Homemade Viagra?
Yeah, try it out. Test it
Proper
out,
whopper,
Sean.
go on.
Proper what?
Whopper, that is. Maybe you shouldn't. Is that paint?
Camaraderie has been something A, I'm used to, but B, something I was surprised to find here. Everyone's just been hands-on, you got, when it starts to rain, you've got the actors offering to help out, move stuff in and everything. That's been a real favourite part.
What we doing, Ellie?
Making nice things look shit. My approach has been relaxed in terms of the sourcing and just seeing what clothes I could find and taking that quite chilled. I usually do stuff that's a bit more high pressure and with more of a focused aesthetic. This is just a campsite, so I was quite relaxed with that, but quite tough on myself in terms of continuity, which was something new to learn.
Hello, I'm Anthony Bunko. I'm in charge of getting the extras in at the moment. So this week we've been looking at the schedule, what extras we need, on what sets, what clothing they need, where they live, get camps up and things like that. So been quite interesting week, to be honest.
Lazy shout, man, come on! You're not going to hang around, you know.
The extras was another joy. Something you'd never see, really. You never see a group of extras becoming part of your unit family. And watching them learn about filmmaking was really special. They're utterly clueless. Didn't have a clue about, they'd wander off, and now they're as focused as the rest of they're as focused as the principal actors, because they know how it works, And all they have to do is look at me and I just, and they know. Brilliant. I mean, that is really special, There we are. There we are. That's it.
It's been a good learning experience for us as well, because you see thousands of films as you grow up, and to get this background insight into it is amazing, really, to see how it works.
Yeah, I'm one of the 3 Ps. They're like a kind of Welsh chorus. They wander about, and they're three children, really. And they're not, there's not a mean bone in their body, but they like playing at soldiers. They think they're guarding everything, and just 3 old fools, really.
Can I help you?
I've got the new fast mag loader with turbo compression valve. Fire! Cover me!
This is Wales. Theme is universal, It is incredibly Welsh. It's bawdy, there's nudity, and Kev is brilliant at using music in his work, and the music in this is fantastic. Mark Thomas again. Kev likes to really crank up the emotion, and he can do it with his choice of music. And there are choirs singing, there's orchestras playing, naked people playing, it is very, very Welsh. And that theme is kind of reflected. It's very Dylan Thomas-esque. It's very poetic,
Flies off to France and things.
Very emotional.
So it's very low key. Oh, very emotional. Yes.
And I think the overriding theme of all this is about a lot of people who will not go gently into that dark night. That's what it is.
I think the Welsh connection is always just important to me. I feel it just feels right making films here. There's plenty of films to make here. And at the same time, I don't really have any truck with the establishment at all. I'm a black sheep, and I like it that way.
I think it's disgusting. I like it the ship.
You love it?
Okay, great.
And me, you're agreeing. Frank has such a tiny penis.
Okay, so you don't necessarily need to.
It's the only way I get to feel anything,
Thanks, Bobby. The posh bird gets it all, doesn't she? It's the only way I get to feel it.
Yeah, or anything, get to feel anything,
Don't worry about the English on it now.
No, we'll make it proper Welsh.
Yeah.
Of course it starts with Kevin. He's the visionary, he's got the passion, he's got the soul. We know that the underpinning of this exercise, other than making a damn good film, is to do with his film school. We're all here on deferred payments, so we're here because we want to be here, we're not here for the money. So that whole energy around going to work and trotting out your work doesn't exist.
Got it. Oh, I see. We could do that.
Right. Just go anywhere, guys. Go fucking anywhere.
Bye, boys. See you soon. Bye, take care.
Oh, it's amazing the support we've had, you know, local guys giving us a couple of quid, the Scarlets, the council, the Welsh cake woman in the market coming up with Welsh cakes, and people, you know, using that showers, lending us caravans, tents. It's been incredible, you know. Most people who came to the table were just delighted to be doing something that's involves collective endeavour. It makes you feel connected, you know, to something that's real. Everything else out there has become unreal. This felt like, you know, kind of just a creative adventure that was worth doing. And if we lost all the rushes tomorrow, it would have been worth doing, just because of the fun we had doing this.
Well, I recently came from outer space. And I took over this body. Boyd Clark has existed for a long time, but it's only about a year since I came from outer space and took over this body, and so I'm speaking from the memories of the real Boyd Clark, which are retained within my computer system, which I regard as a soul.
Pure creativity.
What I'm trying to do is to get my wife to keep her costume because it's really turning me on.
We don't believe in sharing.
Trying to accomplish this using iPhones. I think that's something due to the mobile film school, and Kevin's whole path in that respect was something that we needed to sort of remember at times. Compared to the cameras and the kit that Kev would usually use, or any production would really use, it's nothing. And that's obviously got its pros and its cons. Some of its pros are the fact that you're able, especially on a production like this, where a lot of the sets were inside caravans and small sort of locations, you were able to get into corners and places that you wouldn't usually be able to get to with big cameras, and then you stick an anamorphic lens on it and it opens it up even more. I think that the comedy of using, it's very much the good, the bad and the ugly anamorphic sort of you see everything style, and to have that look on a sort of independent kind of fun film is quite comical.
How much? 16 grand's giving her away. 12 and a half. Oh, give me 8. That sounds... I tell you what, give me 4 bags of sand and I'll throw in a mug holder.
You better say something interesting now, because I'm filming.
Well, you missed all the interesting bits. Well, then, because you've missed the bits that I can't say on camera.
I'd been on site for 2 weeks before we started shooting, and in the first week of shooting I spent £120. So just to be able to work on low budget, luckily everything's provided here, be it going in the woods and getting roundwood and cutting down some willow to make the pavilion, or just Mandy's sheds full of what some people looks like junk, but when you're on the hunt for some sets, it's gold.
So we've had a lot of dogs, very unlike any other film set I've been on. Bolt and Schmeichel have become part of the Cha-Cha community. They wander in and out of shot. They've been allotted to certain extras as their key animal sidekick. It's amongst the most joyous film experiences I've had in 33 years, I can tell you.
I think just getting to know people really, really well, making loads of new friends and kind of finding my own way of doing the job.
Right,
And
so
lay.
it's not this scene.
No, you'll
Okay.
be shot just after.
So do you want me to do the bingo? Do my bingo clothes on?
No, just saying this, you don't need to be in a job that I would now feel comfortable to do in lots of other ways and other places.
There's some really funny things go on. But for me, I mean, my brother's been a nightmare.
Crusty, fucking knickers. Do a slow one, crusty knickers. Okay.
And a joy in equal measure. Keith's balls hanging out half the time always brought a smile to my face.
The whole day was amazing because the sun was shining and the lake is just with the lilies. The lake is just like breathtaking. It's beautiful with all those lilies open. And then followed by this beautiful Welsh woman singing like completely operatic. And you know, she's partially sighted and we'd had a struggle all day kind of making sure that we had enough equipment for her and to be the person to facilitate that special moment that everyone shares. It's really, it's really beautiful, isn't it?
In my heart.
The Naked Orchestra just cracked me up. I mean, when I wrote Naked Orchestra, I didn't for one second think there would be one. I thought maybe a couple of people would have their pants on, you know. There's 8 old blokes, bollock naked, including the conductor on the pier. It's unbelievable. Belly dancers were funny. Just, walking into the production wagon Thursday night and 7 Welsh legends being on the sofa.
Sean Fitzpatrick.
Do you know you got out of Twin Towns alive there after
Yes.
I watched Twin Towns last night for the first time.
I'm not remotely impressed by actors or film stars, you know what I mean. Rugby legends to me is like makes me nervous. You know, that was something else. We've had a lot of fun. I can't fucking remember. My head is fried.
So much. Brings those drugs back, son. We need them.
We've had a couple of All Blacks legends.
Thank you very much.
Which I'm pretty fucking pleased about.
Thank you.
And a couple of Welsh legends as well, and we've managed to get it all in before the fucking rain started again. So you could say that I'm pretty made up.
I think the director's pretty pissed off right now.
Have we got any plastic bag here for these seats here, please?
Well, I'd love to punch Alan Wynne-Jones, but there's not a ladder tall enough.
I just had a finger up the arse, both of them. Oh, it's Fitzy. It's all right, it's Fitzy. It's been done.
Can I just say I would never, ever love to punch Alan Wynne-Jones. He isn't gone.
The whole caravan full of Welsh international rugby players and a beautiful Welsh choir and all these Welsh royalty shoved into this static caravan, the ecstatic caravan. And we finally got them out round the fire. They sang one chorus of the song and then the heavens opened and we had to rush everyone in, wipe the seats down, brought them back out, seated them again. It happened again.
That was such a funny moment. We love the rain. You're okay.
Do you blame Wales?
No, we love Wales. It's just a little bit wet at times.
It's just unbelievable, but we kept going and that's great. It's because the crew are so committed and they just keep soldiering on. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Kev's very lucky. He's got such a committed bunch here.
What's interesting is Andy Serkis's kids, Sonny and Ruby, and in fact Liam, who plays Salty, just talking to them and they're like, this is fucking mind-blowing. I've never been so emotional in my fucking life. It's like, he said he would never forget this as long as he lives.
Yeah, I just got a phone call from Geraldine, who's co-producing it, and she said, would you like to audition for the lead part in the new Kevin Allen film? So I said yes. She asked me to prepare a self-tape, you see. So So I did, and Kevin liked it, and then he asked me to play the lead role. Well, I was a little bit nervous because I've never played the lead in a film before. So I said to Kevin, you know, yeah, I want to do it, but you have to understand that, you know, you're going to have to help me here. So I was apprehensive, but as soon as I started working with Kevin, I relaxed because Kevin knows exactly what he wants. I've almost been here in this is the Star trailer. I woke up this morning and I was in the middle of a lake here because there was heavy rain last night. That's my bed is up there and it's got a cubby hole, and I spend many hours just looking out of this cubby hole, just observing what's going on the cam. It's not creepy.
It's not a weird, it's a yoke.
And my favorite part is doing very interesting screen acting. I've got so many interesting scenes to play in this. And as I said, it is the kind of way that I've really wanted to work all my life, with the director who knows what he's doing, a good script, a great script, and yeah, and just to be able to do some proper acting. Yeah, that's been my favorite part of it. This is it. This is going to be a glorious performance captured forever on iPhone.
It was very last minute. Me and my sister both got calls from our agents, and they just said, look, this is very, very kind of crazy last minute production, just go for it. And then yeah, we get a call a few days later saying they want us down, and then we literally get here and have a few days to rehearse and straight into it. So yeah. It
all happened really quick. Obviously everything was pulled together really kind of last minute, but you know, after 5 days I was just here in the midst of it all.
We had no idea what to expect, but we got here and we kind of both just absolutely fallen in love with the place. It's brilliant. It's become our home for the last month, and you know, a little caravan here. It's great. It feels like its own kind of little like bubble away from everything, where you can just kind of focus on the film and forget about everything else that's going on.
Yeah, things are going well. Oh shit. Yeah, so we're gonna rehearse with cameras today, so yeah, they've been working very hard. They're yeah, I mean, good. We'll get the cameras up in a bit and try and rehearse as much as we can before we start shooting on Monday. But you know, they're good. You know, the youngsters especially, you know, they're working really hard.
I'm quite lucky. I feel like I'm in some ways quite similar to Libby, and I was kind of just, you know, living out my dreams of living on a caravan site. I fucking love camping, and I love old people, so it's perfect. It's perfect. And yeah, like I said, the rehearsal process. Usually, you don't get that kind of rehearsal for a film. It happens really quickly, but we were able to go through everything. Kev knows exactly what he wants.
My favourite scene, I think for me, it's got to be the big kind of standoff, because there's so much going on. We had all the big cast. Everyone's just got their guns, and it's really, really tense. And that moment of tension is just, you know, broken. But there's partly very, very tragic kind of understory that Damien's, you know, been abused. But then you realise that, you know, there's a comic side to it. You know, it's Shirley Bassey, and so that tension's kind of broken. But I had really great fun shooting that over 2 days. And Kevin just adding little bits in as we went along, just to make it like slicker and move better as a scene. But yeah, that was great fun. And obviously being with Ruby, it's kind of helped a lot, because, you know, we've had that instant chemistry on screen, which hopefully has come across.
Do you know what? I think if it had been a film on a bigger scale, it would have been completely impossible. But because we got such tiny cameras, and you know, everything's here, it's so quick and it's so efficient. Fucking love the tiny cameras, and there's not a huge camera in your face when you're doing a scene, so it's, you know, it's so nice and discreet, and it's way less in your face. It's great.
I think what Kevin's gone to show is that if you want to just if you have something that drives you, you know, the script obviously had been wanting to do it, for a while, and he just sat down and just did it and then put it together. And I think it's Kev's organisation and kind of drive that's kind of been really inspiring. The fact that he's just done this over lockdown, put it together.
So trousers down, salty, with your ankle exposed, top off, both of you.
It makes a big difference that we all know each other. The hierarchy isn't as much there, and it just feels like a hugely collaborative effort to, everyone really just wants to make it the best it can be. And so yeah, I've not had any problem being emotional in front of them. I think we're all just, we respect each other's roles in the film.
It's been a massive confidence boost. I can sense, like, from going away from this, I'm like already starting to look for the next thing, and I'm feeling really charged because I've got films that I want to make, I want to direct, and I'm feeling like, right, okay, I'll know how to get the funding, where to go, but everything's given me that thirst for more, because, even though I had similar skills, but it's that once you already take a higher step and you haven't drowned and you've had support, you're like, oh, right, okay, what's the next move? Let's go, kind of thing.
It's communal, as you can see. Everyone's, like, almost everyone involved in the crew is living here. So it does feel like a community with this, like, us guys here, we like hang out every night. We've got a campfire over there, there's a campfire over there. When it's really bad weather, we go in there. So we're just always around each other.
Would I do this again? Yeah, I think so. I've done quite a few low budgets in the past, and if I like the script and I feel the people have a kindred vibe, then I definitely would do it again, yeah, of course. How else will we get good films made in this country?
I've learnt so much from being here. I've honestly adopted an entirely new outlook on life. So I've learnt so much from Kev, just about, telling stories and filmmaking, and if anything, it's completely changed how I want to make films, because just seeing how effective it can be to have such a small crew and to have little cameras and to do it on virtually no budget, I think it gives quite a lot of hope.
The way of working with iPhones and with pared down crews and with the different mindset than one would expect on a conventional film set has been great, and I'll do it again.
I'm up for different things and challenges. I've got quite comfortable doing the festival work. I know where I am with that, which is great. But I'm looking to do other things anyway, so this was a good step in the right direction, good contacts and things like that. So yeah, I'll do it again. Life's too short, isn't it,
This is how films should be made. This is how art should be made. The collective, the creative endeavour, and sort of weaving community together is really important, and that's what's happened here.
La cha 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 cha.
Maybe if you're not in this, if you haven't got a hard on, move away from this.
All the fake penises get in the lake. No, in the pavilion.
The drone hit a tree after the fireworks and has gone in, and Kev's son Howell sped out in the canoe and is about to jump in and go get it. It's 16 feet deep.
Well, are you gonna get in, Rich?
Yeah, we've got towels.
Have we? Go get one. Geraldine's got a blanket. We've got a net.
That was a bit.
I know, it was great. Oh my god, you fucking heroes!
I want to just say, from I think all of us, a thank you to Kevin.
Yay! To Kevin!
Honestly, it was a real joy to see people grow into this. To throw people in the deep end and watch you grow day by day. Experience, I really mean that. Essays included, the way you contributed to this community.
On that note, it's a wrap!
Clank